Okay, so you're going to get some work done right now while I chat about something. If it happens to be that you can't get any work done right now because maybe you're in the car, you're just not in a position, then you know that you can come back here and say, Kathy's going to set a timer to the part where we get started and where I say, ready, set, go. And then just get something done. You know, all right, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to dedicate this time to this, set an intention, and then do it. Let me get the timer. We'll set the timer. We'll I'll say 1, 2, 3, go. And let me just get it. I have too many tabs open. There it is. Okay, ready, set, go. All right, so here is the topic. The topic is I.G.A.D disease. Now, this was coined, I guess is the word you'd say, by Pam Young and Peggy Jones, and it's I got all day. I got all day. And it's when, you know that phrase that they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. And the reason for that is because when we have a whole bunch to do on our plate, I'm not talking about a whole bunch of housework to do on our plate. I'm talking about a whole bunch of things that need to be done, like maybe your kids get to school at this time. You get to work at that time. You have to, show up for an appointment at this time. So when you have actual appointments set and things that you have to show up for and commitments that you made that you need to leave the house for, then that's the busy person. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that you have so much to do at home. Because without a absolute time to have to do these things, that's where the I.G.A.D disease comes from. So that phrase, if you want something done, give it to a busy person, is because that person has a sense of start and stop of things, a sense of starting something and stopping something, and then maybe starting something else and stopping something else. And they know that if they're going to get that other thing done, they have to fit it in somewhere. And then that has become an appointment. And then they do it because this is a plan. Another one of those things that have stood the test of time is fail to plan, plan to fail, right? So I.G.A.D disease happens for people when there is no boss. There's nobody behind them saying, you have to do this, no consequence of not doing this, no actual time frame to anything. I.G.A.D disease can happen even if you have a 9 to 5 and you leave the house every day and you have your weekends free. A whole week you could decide, I'm going to do this weekend. And then the whole weekend goes by and we've done a lot of procrastinating, procrastinating, scrolling, chatting, like there's all these procrastinating things that we do that stops us from doing what it is that we wanted to do because we have that sense of, I've got all day. I can get to that. I'll get to that. It's kind of like what, I don't know if anybody's ever said this, but I've thought it a lot. Like there is no someday in the week. It's not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and someday. Someday just doesn't exist. And we do that to ourselves so often. And if you're who I am, that type of person, then it is so easy for time to just kind of like go through like a sieve, like sand in a, if you ever see that show, like sand, I'm definitely dating myself. It's a soap opera, like sand through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives. Like a day can go into a week, can go into a month, can go into a year. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the things you can do that will spur you to make the appointments that are urgent instead of, I could do that later. So one of the things is get yourself busy. Now, remember, this is for people or for times that we have when there's an entire day without anything really set, and that you have this free time in, like, let's just call it like a basket. You have a basket of free time, okay? So get yourself busy. Give yourself the mindset that you are busy today. Oh, I'm busy today. It really is all between our ears and the way we decide to think about things. There's a book, I forget what the name of the book is. The author is Gretchen Rubin, and it's called it's not the Four Personalities. I forget what her name of the book is, but it's really good, and it breaks down people into like 4 different types. And one of the types is that, they just do it because it needs to be done. And those people, they're mostly the organized people in the world. Those people, they don't need motivation, or they don't need a reason. Just the fact that it has to be done is enough for them. And then there's other people who we are, and it's like, if it isn't fun, we don't want to do it. So when we recognize how we tick, then we could say, oh, this is the way I move ahead with my day. So how do I guess, trick myself? That might not be the best word to say, but let's just use it right now. How do I trick myself into being the kind of person that I need to be to get this done? Here, I just got to take a sip of this, okay? All right, so what was I at? Tricking ourselves to do something. Oh, there was a really good thought in there somewhere, but I lost it. I remember now. All right. So have you ever said, if I only had this, then I could do that, and then I could be this? Isn't it be, do, have, or have, do, be? Have, do, be. Okay. If I only had this in my life, then I could do what it is that I want to do, and then I'd be that person that I dream of being. But that's not true. It's be, do, have. That's how we achieve what it is that we want to achieve. We have to be that person that would do those things so that we could have the result. See? So who do you have to be? One of the things you can do is, I have this on my list, let me just look at it and cross it off so that I remember. Pretend you're somebody else. Pretend you're someone else. I do this so often. I do this on the regular. Because there's some things that I know I just don't like to do, I know I don't want to do, and I know that it's the way my personality is, it's really easy for me to step over things. It's easy for me to not notice certain things. Whereas, like, say my sister Maria, my sister-in-law Dorothy, like, there's no way in hell that they wouldn't see something that was right there. Whereas I could easily gloss over something. So when there's something going on in my life that is outside of the routine, because I've trained myself to do my routine, but when it's outside of my routine, like say a renovation or a room change project or something like that. So you pull everything out of a room. In Tidy Tutor, we have certain ways to do this so that it doesn't make more of a mess than it started with. Still, there's things we have to do once we are, say, doing a project and changing a room. Say I'm making, this room used to be a bedroom, now it's going to be an office, all right? In that case, it's really easy for me to have those things out in the room, in the other room while I'm working on that, and then pass by those things in that room and not even see them, because it's my nature. It's part of my gift. It's part of your gift that we are able to go with the flow and shift gears easily. It's also a little bit of a curse, because those things could sit there for a long time before we're like sick of it, because that's when we finally notice it. So what I do is I pretend I'm Maria, say. I'll just use her as an example. She is a go-getter. She would never allow that stuff to be in that space. So I would just act like I was playing a part in a role in a play. And I would be like, all right, I'm Maria. And then I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I have this do. And then stuff gets cleared up. So think about who it is that you can be when you wake up in the morning, and you could say, all right, you know what? I'm going to pretend I'm playing a role in a play and I am my sister-in-law, or I am my sister, or I am my best friend. And then move ahead with that energy inside you. Because what we want to do is I want to make sure that I get my points here. We want to create a new identity with a desire for a new standard in life. And if you can do that, when you have all day to do something, you'll be like, oh, this will never do. Oh no, this is not who I am. I love my life. I love my home. I love myself. And this is the way I treat myself because I am worthy and I can do this. And this is my standard. I don't live this way. So then you wake up with more of a push and a love for life and a determination to get stuff done. Now, there are some things that have to be like logistic here. Like, have a plan. Get a daily routine. A daily routine. To have a daily routine is absolutely critical. You need to have a daily routine. You need to know, what time am I waking up? What time do I go to sleep? And what fills in the gap? When do I have breakfast? When is garbage day? What do I do on garbage day? What do I do? Do I do this before like after dinner? Do I get all the recycling out after dinner? Do I get, all of these things? We don't want to run around like a ball at the end of a paddle. That ball at the end of the paddle. Oh no, this is happening. Oh no, that is happening. Oh no, this is happening. We don't want to do that. We want to live with like a flow to things. So you have a daily routine so that when you wake up in the morning, you know what you're doing. You get in the shower. First thing, you take care of you. You get in the shower. You get yourself dressed and ready for the day. If you don't shower in the morning, shower in the evening. If you don't shower every day, that's fine. Get yourself washed up. Get yourself dressed. First thing in the morning, like your life is important. Your job is important. Your life is your job. Because, think about it. If you won the lottery, you wouldn't quit home. Right? You'd quit your job. But what would you do then? You'd live your life. And so there has to be things to do. There has to be purpose. There has to be direction. So that's one of the logistics, is that you have a daily routine. We have 2 minutes left, FYI, in the 15. So have a daily routine, one that is static and that you need to, because you do these things every single day, the things you do every day. And so, you get up, maybe you shake throw rugs, you put the dishes away because you go to bed with dishes done at night. You shower, you get dressed, you make your bed, you drink water, you make coffee. There's things that you do every single day. That's static. Have it out where you can see it and cross it off. See, these become appointments with yourself. Cross it off. And now that really is very important for people like you and me, because it stimulates that part of our brain. It gives us a sense of accomplishment with each cross-off. If you don't do the cross-off, you don't feel that spurge of, I think it's dopamine, that comes off in your brain. And we need that, because for us, if it ain't fun, we don't want to do it. So that's another way to trick ourselves into doing the things that we don't do. So you have that routine, you see it, it's in your face, you cross it off, okay? Now, how do you cross it off so that you don't have to write it every day? Well, this is in my course too. It's now called Tidy Tutor Masterclass. And in the very first session, I talk about the supplies that you need to have a binder. And one of the things that we need is a protector, like a page protector. You can get them in the dollar store. They're not so great in the dollar store. They're more flimsy. You can get them in Staples, and they're page protectors. You put your paper in that, you use a dry erase marker, and you cross it off with that. And then all you have to do is, put a little Windex on a paper towel and then you wipe it off. And there you go. Every day you have your thing so that you can cross off. All right, now look, our 15 minutes is up. So if you were working, good for you. Let me know what you got done. One of the problems that we have is that we have that warped perception of time. We think everything takes so long. And so when you stay focused and you do something, you're usually really surprised at how much you got done during that time. All right, so I'll wrap this up, okay? I already said have a time to wake up and time to go to bed. Send yourself a message that your life is important. Create new standards for yourself so that you wake up with a sense of determination. Okay? Get yourself busy. If you're, all right, one thing that you could do that really would be great is if it's at all possible to get out of the house first thing in the morning, do it. If it's cold, get your coat on, get your socks and sneakers on or whatever, and just walk around the block. You would be so surprised if you're home all day, you would be so surprised at how that gives you that urge to now start your day. You see, the world is alive. People are out. You get that fresh air. You know, there was a time when there was a pandemic many, many years ago, and the hospitals were filled. So they had to put beds outside. And that's where, you know how years ago people would say, if you have a grandmother that's old, she probably says, get them out in the air. That's where that came from, because they did tents and they put beds outside so that the patients could be outside. Those patients were getting much, much better, faster than the people inside. That's why years and years ago, when hospitals were redone, you know, when they renovated hospitals, they put great big windows in there. There was actually something called fresh air therapy, and it was required that the windows were open and that people would get fresh air. And it's really true. This is not just any like weirdo thing and stuff. It really, really is true. Fresh air is a big deal. So when you go outside, you breathe in that fresh air. You walk a little bit briskly. And you know what? If you can't walk, if you can't do that, or you can't, you know, maybe you have little kids at home, maybe you have an injury and you can't do it, walk outside. I swear I did this for years. Step outside. Stand on the, and wait a minute, let me just say also, I still do this periodically because it works. This stuff doesn't work unless it works it. And if I find myself in a slump, I just pull out the things that work, you know? So if you can't go anywhere, step outside, stand on the sidewalk, breathe deep. It really, honestly, I don't care if people see me and say, what the hell is she doing? What do I care what they think? Just think what you want to think. There is probably, maybe let's say one or two more things. One thing that I could say, one other thing that I would say that I don't think there's anything else that I missed other than this one other thing that I wrote down is, you know, years ago when I had my first little baby, her name is Katie, and she's freaking 40 now. And I was 19 years old when she was born. And, you know, she was just, you know, she wanted me to always hold her and stuff. And I would hold her a lot, you know, and I had people around me saying, you're going to spoil that kid. But, you know, I didn't believe that. But there were times I had to get stuff done. You know, I had to do things. And so when she was awake, I was like, this is ridiculous. And there was a book by Dr. Spock. I'm sure lots of you know Dr. Spock. And I forget what the name of his book was, something childcare or something. But anyway, I read his book, and he had something in there about what to do with that needy baby, with that needy child that, you know, you can't get anything done because all they want you to do is hold them. And we're talking about like a toddler, okay? Not an infant. So what he said to do, and it worked, was get really busy. Like, you need to do the dishes, wash the floor, do some laundry. Do it in a way that is very, what's the word? Somebody help me out here. Very flamboyant, I guess. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it works. Like in a flamboyant way, get yourself to do those things. So very busily, like while they're crying, while they're standing there, you know, you tell them, mommy's got some work to do now, you know, make sure that all their little needs are met and all of that. And all it is that she wants you to hold her. Well, life doesn't work that way, sweetheart. And so you teach them, you train them, and this could work for you too. Get yourself busy. Get yourself to that place where you feel like, oh, I'm going to do this and I have to do it directly. And because it worked. It worked for the baby and it will work for you. So I wish I could think of that word I'm looking for. You know, you really move ahead, not ambulatory, Matter of fact, that's not it either, but that's what I'll say. So in a severe matter of fact way, you start your day and put everything you've got into it. All of your motor skills, everything that you've got. Do it like you've got, like you're using so much energy, and it really will work. That now you look at your routine and you scurry to do the dishes. You go to do this like it's important. So thanks a lot for being with me here. Let me know what you got done. I'll look at your comments later and respond to them in text. And so that's that for this. Thanks a lot for being with me. If you know anybody that could use my help, please share what I've got going on. If you want some one-on-one help, I have some openings for that right now, and I kind of do it as an application kind of thing. We make sure that it's a good fit. It works so good for so many people that just need a little bit more hand-holding through the process, and I'll be happy to support you with that. Then, of course, there's the DIY, my course, Tidy Tutor Masterclass, that walks you through getting your daily routine done, how to declutter, how to manage the house so that it stays maintained, laundry, meal planning, the whole 9 yards. Then, of course, there's my Tidy Tutor Insiders. And that's where you have the Tidy Tutor Masterclass, and that is a DIY, but there's a little bit more support in there. So you take the class at your own pace, but you have a connection with me and with others that force you to show up. And it continues to give you support. We meet twice a month, every other Tuesday. You get emails from me. There are supportive emails with video, and there are also special courses inside of the members area for insiders only. Okay? And that's $29 a month, less than $1 a day. You could also do it as an annual if you like to. And if you did that, you would save $50. So if you got my email today, you can find all about that on the bottom in the PS, or you go to my website, thetidytutor.com, and on the top portion, there it is. Also, I have a Tidy Tutor Masterclass, which is pay what you can. And that is linked in this post. Okay? All right, so there you go. Love you guys. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you tomorrow.